Today, I'm going to be setting my goals for the first quarter of 2024. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Tracy and I am a girl with plans. Today's videos is one of the final videos of my 2024 goal setting series. Actually, I guess it technically will be the final one of my 2024 goal setting series, as I will be setting my first quarter goals for 2024. Now, my first quarter goals is what I'm doing instead of doing annual goals. I figured I wanted to alleviate any pressure of figuring out what I want for the whole year and instead doing my goals by quarter. The other thing I am going to mention is I think I'm going to simplify my goals to the point where some people might even be scratching their head. So my quarter goals are not going to have, measurable actions for them, because basically that's what's going to happen more so on my monthly goals. So what I did is just to kind of do a quick recap, and I have a complete goal setting series up in a playlist. So definitely, if you have not checked it out, check it out. I will have that link down in my description. But I started out with a little bit of brainstorming, writing down anything that popped into my mind, centered around the typical goal categories, which are your typical life categories, if we're being honest. So I did some brainstorming around that. And then from there, I kind of propelled that a little bit more to kind of reflecting overall on 2023 and thinking a little bit about things that I might want to achieve in 2024. Then, of course, that led to my word of the year, which I actually had created prior to doing any of this, because that came to my mind fairly early in this entire process. And as I was going through this process, that word became more and more like, this is it. And that's the word now, because I need to do things now and stop putting them off. So I developed my word of the year. And then after that, I recently filmed my last video was on doing my assessment of where I stand now in all of my areas. I did complete the Moxie Life assessment, but I also did my own assessment based on my categories, because my categories are slightly different from Moxie Life. I did break apart a few categories because I need to focus a little bit more, and you'll see those as I set up my goals for the quarter. And then finally, I did my annual focus, which is more like focus words, things that I feel like is missing or that I need to focus on in each of the categories. And I did that again as part of that video where I also did my assessment. So I have a lot of box sticker books on my desk, quote sticker books, because we're going to try to make a cute spread. I'm thinking I might be able to get away with doing a one-page goal spread, because like I said, I'm not going to be creating action items. I don't think for the goals, because I kind of want to leave that to the months. So my monthly goal setting is going to be a little bit more in depth. And what we're going to do in my monthly goal setting is not necessarily create action plans, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into more measurable type things within the goal. So that way I can kind of see where I'm at. So for reading, I've already set that goal as part of my reading journal setup, and it was to read 26 books. I'm hopeful that I can crush that goal, and maybe I'll reevaluate that at the halfway point of the year. But in order to meet that, I need to read one book every 2 weeks, right? And so right now I might be like, okay, so I want to continue reading. I want to continue regular reading or something like that. Let's say that. I don't know if that's going to be a part of my quarterly goal. Now that I say it, it probably will, because it won't leave my mind. But then as part of my monthly goal, it will be read 2 books. That's part of the monthly goal, because I think there's 4 weeks, whatever. Read 2 books. So that will be my monthly goal. That's an actionable. I can actually sit there and write it down and check it off if I do it. And then I will break it down even further in the weekly about how much I want to read each day or something like that. we'll see when we get to it. I still have a little bit of time because I will not be setting my monthly goals until probably the day or two before the month starts. I will literally be filming it and then getting that video out the following day. So kind of like now, because I filmed the annual focus yesterday, and I was like, okay, I really need to go ahead and film this quarterly video so that way you guys can kind of get ideas, because even though I'm doing it quarterly, you can kind of do the same concepts for annual. All right, so first thing I need is I need numbers and letters, because I'm going to just say Q1 goals. All right, guys, so in the time between me talking about doing a 1-page spread, I decided to do a 2-page spread. And this is so crooked. No, I just figured it'd be easier to kind of like map out some ideas too. There is going to be another process, which I think I'm going to do too, so I need to kind of get moving on this. All right, so my Q1 goals. We are going to start with, when I was looking through this book, when I pulled out the Year to Shine book, I saw this. This is Hold the Vision, Trust the Process. So I'm going to put this here because it's purple, which is the color for that. And I know it's crooked. And then I also saw this. And if you remember, my word, not my focus word for personal is intentional. Got something stuck on it. I try to pull it aside beforehand, but instead of like putting it on wax paper, I just put it on the end of my desk. Yeah, don't do that. All right, so we'll just put intentional there. I do think I want, here we go. They do have these. All right. Now, health and wellness. I will create some quarterly goals here. Again, they are going to be just as kind of basic as some of my other ones. However, I don't know if I have any big ones. What I do want to mention is that I will be setting them up monthly. I will maybe mention them here in my goals planner, but I am going to actually be doing a completely separate goal setting section in my fitness planner. So my fitness planner is going to have a goal setting section each month because this is, sorry, not fitness, my physical wellness, because it's physical and mental. We'll put this one over here. Look at that. The time is now. All right. And then I have all of these. I got all of my Mojo Jojo boxes out. So let's start putting some stuff on the page. So I did do some brainstorming, like I said. I actually did I have been thinking about some of this stuff for a while. But after yesterday, when I was doing all of the kind of annual focus areas and stuff like that, that's kind of when a lot of it made a lot of sense. So this is going to be personal. I'm just going to write personal. It's personal development, things like that. The basic thing that I need to do when I think of my quarterly goals is I need to set and evaluate AM, midday, evening, and bedtime routines. So there are a lot of goals that I have, and I don't want to break them down here. A lot of them are my personal goals, like reading is part of my personal goals. Self-care, when I talk about like the self-care that I'm talking about here, because I also have self-care and wellness. Self-care here is more like skincare, like taking care of yourself and your body, like skincare, oral care, stuff like that. That's going to be part of my routine. So I'm not going to break it down here. Incorporate goal tracking and reflections, one little word, or my word of the year, and planning into my routines, and be mindful of my idle time. So there's some other things that I might do. Let's actually see. I think there is one more thing that I do want to incorporate here. Okay, I need to plan and budgets for self-care. So like I said, I'm gonna have self-care and a couple of these types of categories. So this is going to be like at-home self-care. This is going to be out-of-the-home self-care that I want to actually spend more time with, like getting my hair done more than twice a year. And I only get it done twice a year because I usually do it before vacations. So a lot of things like that. All right, we're going to do this fun green. And then, all right, so here I'm just going to write finances or financial. So those are the main things I need to worry about this first quarter of 2024 when it comes to finances. And some of this stuff is going to probably continue to go on, like the track spending and stuff. You're going to constantly see this. The IRA is this. I actually need to like set up my investments. I have put money into my IRA last year and never set it up. I know. It's so bad. Like, who does that? I do that. Like, I go ahead and I didn't transfer a lot. I like literally transferred a little bit to kind of like test the waters. All right. So we'll go with the little burgundy one here. Or deeper than burgundy, almost brown. Okay, so this is going to be social. And this is going to be friends and family. This was hard to come up with for the first quarter because I feel like this is definitely going to be one of those that is going to be easier for the weekly and like for monthly and definitely for the weekly action steps. Okay. So these are going to kind of like cross. So like quality time with my parents. I just need to do stuff with them. It's kind of hard to do it in the winter, and I really only have 2.5 months in this quarter just because of my vacation. I need to reconnect with friends and schedule an outing and dinner with those that I reconnect with. And I put future plans because this is something I did not really do this year. Well, I kind of did it like I found a concert and then I asked my cousin to go to the concert. So that's the kind of stuff I mean with future plans is like I need to start researching things that are happening and then go ahead and get those on people's calendars because a lot of people are busier than I am. And if I want to like be successful with being more social and hanging out with more like of my friends and reconnecting, then I need to kind of like do a lot more stuff in advance. So like when I talk about future plans, it's probably going to be, I mean, there are probably going to be some events in February. That seems to be a hot time for a lot of local events for some reason. Indoors, of course, but like spring events. Like, do I want to coordinate a winery tour in the spring or something like that? Like that does take some pre-planning to see what days people are off. And for socializing, again, this is what I just said. Like I put future plans here, but find events and activity, coordinate outings. So again, it's almost the same thing. And then sign up for a dating or social app. Oh, I guess I need to go ahead and do my physical health. So this is gonna like my physical health goals for each month are probably going to be a little insane. So I'm definitely going to reel it in when I think about this. So I need to, okay. So begin to increase the frequency and intensity of my workout. Schedule doc appointments due through July. Because I figure if I start scheduling them in January and February, I should be able to schedule them through July. I should have a good idea of my schedule, hopefully like a work schedule. And then work on improving thyroid numbers and gut health. That was definitely included in my brainstorming. And then, like I said, when I get to my monthly, that's when I will break that down further. And then we will do action plans when it comes to my weekly. For mental health, basically I need to incorporate, here we go again, mental health exercises into, so these routines, I'm talking about these routines. So that is going to be like journal, meditate, digital detox. So that's kind of what that is. And then I need to do like, I need to do mental health check-ins. So So it's not that much. It's gonna, like I said, this is definitely going to be expanded upon, because a lot of this routine stuff is kind of where a lot of my mental health goals are. Mental health check-ins and schedule self-care. Again, different type of self-care than that type of self-care. All right, what else is, oh, wait a minute. Focus on self-care. I need to schedule self-care. I also need to budget for it too. Okay. What is next, guys? What is next? So I have to do fun and rec. It's so funny because I think all of this plays well together, but I feel like a lot of this stuff over here definitely plays in with my mental health. All right. Whoops. That's okay. I can cut it. So fun and I don't really know that I need all this space. It's kind of like mental health. I really didn't need all the space. All right, so I need to prep for Egypt, research additional 2024 trips, but I don't really know that they're going to be big trips. But I'm just, and then check local events. And again, a lot of this stuff, like future plans for like trips or just other plans kind of go into that. So it's kind of hard. They all overlap. All right, and then the last two. All right, you guys, let's throw some more stickers on the page while I kind of go over this stuff. So home, create a quarterly cleaning schedule or schedules, because even though I am talking about the first quarter of the new year, the fact of the matter is like I need to pretty much schedule or start thinking about spring. Because now's the time that you start thinking about what needs to be scheduled, because that stuff is going to have to be scheduled while it's still the first quarter. Likely, like, you know, I'll start scheduling that stuff. I was going to say March, but like my March is pretty much done. So I would have to do all that at the beginning of March. So, I mean, that's the thing when you do these quarterlies is like you have to like look at the whole quarter. And it's like, man, there is a lot of stuff to like think about when it comes to like quarter and stuff. I don't like that one. So that's the thing, like when you set up the quarter is like, you really do have to think about, okay, what are things that are going to be like needing to be done in March in preparation for like the spring and like the seasonal change, and like, especially like when it comes to home. So that was something that was definitely, definitely making some things a little bit different when it comes to setting these goals. And for work and learning, I was like research training opportunities. That's for both my 9-to-5 and as far as like social media type, like I always talked like last year, or I always say last year, but it's still, you know, the same year. Like learning how to use different softwares and stuff like that. A lot of times there are opportunities surrounding that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff I'm talking about. Then let's see, fun and adventure. I think I already went over that. So yeah, that's kind of it. Let me go ahead and throw a couple more stickers down. All right, so those are my quarter one goals. Let me grab my goal book. And as part of my quarter one goals, oh, wait a minute. I've already pulled it out. I said I needed to come up with routines, and I'm going to just go over this really quickly. And then B, the other thing is be mindful of idle time. There's a couple of things I'm going to do. This part is going to take place later. I will probably do this off camera, but it's going to come closer to the first. I'm going to white out the dates. I pulled this just from a regular hourly planner that I wasn't using. Obviously it's dated. I'm going to hide the dates, and I want to map out what my ideal week would look like as far as the hours go. This might be a seasonal thing that I end up doing, because believe it or not, it does seem to like I mentioned before, a lot of things happen seasonally for me, and that does include work. So like I know my schedule is going to be very kind of all over the place, but consistently all over the place come January and February. And then March is, yeah, vacation. So we're not even going to talk about that. And then, you know, once the spring and summer comes, it's kind of like, eh. And then like fall is just non-existent. I mean, it's very structured, but it can happen kind of all over the place again, but it's a lot more busier. So that's why I definitely want to kind of almost do how my ideal schedule would be, because I'm planning on doing almost a time study type thing where I'm going to use my weekly calendars and my goal planner that I set up for the month, and I am going to track what I've done for the day, so that way I can see where I'm kind of like wasting time. So like I think I mentioned this during one of my last videos, but that is the plan. So I kind of want to set up my ideal thing just to kind of see how close I am or far. Okay, this I need to like cover that up, but I'm not sure how, and I don't want to do that right now. So this is where I'm going to define my routines. So I'm going to do AM routine. All right. So the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of times even in my current planner, I refer to a lot as like AM routine. Well, what does my AM routine consist of? And I think I want to have that somewhere to refer to make sure that I'm not skimping on my AM routine. You know what I'm saying? Like I could say, yeah, I did my AM routine, but just because I did skincare, but I didn't do this or that, then that means I didn't really do it. So I don't know that all of this is going to be in order, but I don't know. So I have my morning RX. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. So here's what I'm thinking. This is why I was like, I don't know what to do. So here are like my must-dos when it comes to routine. This circle sticker was a lot bigger than I thought. So maybe we'll do one of these. But there are other things that I kind of want to mention that are not necessarily all the time. I put make presentable because at first, like when I was thinking about it, I like jotted it down like makeup. But I definitely, like, that's not an everyday thing. If I'm working from home, I'm not going to put makeup on. But this is just to make myself presentable. That means, like, even if I'm working from home, I want to get ready. Like, even if there's no Zoom and no one's going to see me, I definitely want to still make myself presentable because I feel like you do feel better when you do that. So then here are the other things, and these are things that I'm likely not going to include when I say AM routine, but these are other things that I do want to do in the morning, but I will likely be tracking them separate, if that makes sense. All right, so these are things that I need. These are extras that I'm going to be like capturing separately, probably in my day-to-day calendar. So it's like Duolingo, planner check-in, and stretch and flow, because I really need to stretch and flow. Do I need to add that to my quarterly? Maybe. Stretch. Y'all have seen that way too much. Okay, for midday. So midday is going to be vitamins and supplements. Okay, I put H2O check-in because I used to be on point with my water, but that has been a struggle. So I definitely want to include that as part of my midday to see where I am with water. That might not be like I'm gonna probably reevaluate these definitely on a monthly basis, but maybe even like definitely on a quarterly basis, but maybe even on a monthly basis. Maybe that's what I want to say. All right. So I think this is my activities. Again, everything that is not on a sticker is pretty much, that's what I need to do every day, or that's part of when I put on my planner morning routine, it is going to be everything that I listed there, which a lot of it is just regular stuff that you don't think of. So it's nothing special. It's just like I already went over all of that. Midday routine, like I said, I kind of went over that. I did add midday workout and wellness planner check-in as part of that. Again, everything in a sticker will likely be added to my actual planner as something else to do. I just like to have it on here because this is kind of where I want to do it. Evening routine, I do have planner check-in here because that is something that I do need to do every day. I probably should have put it up there, but whatever, instead of on the sticker. But vitamins and supplements again, because what I do is I take my prescriptions in the morning and evening, or morning and night, but my vitamins and supplements get taken middays. Journal, stretch, planner check-ins, and then I put hand lettering because that's something that I really want to get into and reconnect. That is kind of when I would sit there and like reach out to people. I want to kind of incorporate that into my evening routine. And then PM and bedtime routine is pretty much the same thing as my AM routine, with the exception of I shower at nighttime. So I just threw that in there because, again, I don't put that on my planner. I don't schedule it. Digital detox, again, these are things I'm not going to schedule. It's just part of it. Digital detox, which will kind of include reading or whatever thing like that. Oh, wait a minute. Meditate. I have never done that, so we'll see how well that goes, but that needs to be part of my routine. That might actually have to be scheduled for a while, as well as the digital detox. And then I put read here because I do read a lot at nighttime, and that is part of my evening routine. But I don't want to like just automatically put that all the way always into my evening routine. So that's why I kind of did that. Let's do this. All right, guys. Like I said, I am going to do my ideal schedule. I'm going to do that here off camera. I just taped this to the back because I didn't know what else to do, but maybe I'll add some stuff there if I find that I need it. Here are my goals. What is coming up? Sorry that these videos are long, but I feel like they do need to be long. I think probably my January goal setting might be a little longer than the future ones because I'll have to kind of more explain my thought process. But now that I kind of have all this stuff to go on, I think it's gonna kind of go 5 pretty fast. So I will try to keep them brief, but then we will be doing the January goal setup as well as week 1 action steps, which is pretty much just going to bounce off of the January goal setup. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That is how I am doing my quarterly goals. You can see a lot of these could be annual goals. These might stay the same. Obviously, some of this is going to change. Some of it's going to change. But for the most part, these are goals that could stay my goals for the entire year, but I just don't want that pressure. So I'm going to break them up and reevaluate them every quarter. So if quarter 2 rolls around, if everything is pretty much the same, everything's pretty much the same, and I will just rewrite them. I will mention the 9th category, the physical health, but my physical health goals will actually be a completely separate video as I am doing them in my my fitness and wellness planner. So I am kind of keeping them a little simple. So I'm not going to go in depth with them at all when I'm doing my other goal setup, because that will be a completely separate video and a completely separate process. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on all of this goal prep work throughout this month. I think this is pretty much winding down my Planmas videos. I haven't really been able to do proper Planmas introductions of these videos because I filmed them, but I'm not sure when they're going to go up or when I'm going to be able to post them, because I do like to edit my videos, because even though they're long, guys, they are much longer. I edit some of that stuff out. So yeah, so if you do celebrate any of the holidays this season, no matter what holiday you have celebrated, I want to wish you all happy holidays. All right, guys. So thank you so much again for joining me. If you will, hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.